Apple's iPhone 16 has been available for a week now, but the outlook for sales coming in mixed. Our next guest says the payoff from the delayed launch of Apple Intelligence will play out over a longer time horizon. And joining us now is Antoine Chkaiban, New Street Research Technology Infrastructure Analyst. Antoine, it is great to see you. So here's what you're telling your clients, Antoine, that you expect 215 million iPhone shipments in 2025, and you say that would be 10% below consensus. How come, Antoine? What do you see there?
Yes, thanks a lot, Julia and Josh, for having me. So yes, we're concerned about the upcoming cycle for a number of reasons. First, there are early data points suggesting that iPhone 16 reception is poor. Users are often disappointed. They see limited innovation. And as you mentioned, the fact that Apple Intelligence won't be rolled out from the beginning doesn't really help. Second, there is evidence that refresh cycles are lengthening. You see that in the upgrade rates reported by US telecom operators. Reality is that iPhone users hold onto their devices for longer. And third, in China, iPhone gained share over 2020, 2022 as the only alternative to Huawei in the high end. And this is now creating a headwind to shipments as iPhone share gains are reversing with the domestic OEMs stepping up competition. Lastly, there is evidence that broader consumer demand is weak. You see that in various markets. You see that in smartphones, you see that in PCs, you see that in autos. And so when you put all that together, we think it's legitimate to be concerned about the upcoming cycle. And so we expect indeed that, as you mentioned, 215 million iPhone shipments in fiscal 25. That's 10% below consensus with elongating cycles and slowing net adds.
Antoine, when you look at the introduction of Apple Intelligence, when it does come to the phones and to the last model as well, do you expect then to see sort of a delayed pickup in demand?
So I think if you look at it over the longer run, I think that the generative AI iPhone revolution indeed won't be hardware driven. It will happen over multiple cycles. It won't create a near-term product cycle, but it will still revolutionize the user experience over time. And I do believe that Apple is very well positioned to capture some value as they control a large ecosystem of high-end devices. And so, yes, I agree that beyond next year, over coming years, I think Apple can do well with generative AI, with Apple Intelligence getting rolled out, but it's not going to drive a near-term product cycle. That's what we're concerned about.
So concerned about the near term, Antoine, do you get more bullish as you look farther out, for example, 2026?
So I think beyond next year, Apple can grow revenues probably mid-single digits. I mean, if you take a step back on all that, I think growth has peaked on most fronts. Like iPhone peaked in December 21, Mac in September 22, iPad in December 20, and the installed base in general, not just for iPhone, growth is now slowing and refresh cycles are elongating. Now you have services that are at an all-time high, and that's driven by the App Store, by licensing, and that collection of businesses will likely continue to grow in double digits in aggregate. But we see limited room for an acceleration in the near term. So bottom line is Apple can probably grow revenues mid to high single digits and earnings between low to mid-teens. And so, yes, over the long run, I think Apple is definitely a good name to own. And if there is indeed a pullback related to weakness in the current cycle, that would probably create a good entry point.